and what they can take against this DePaul side who have looked incredible.
Absolutely, and not to sound harsh either, but like you said, best case scenario, try to take a game. Try to make them as close as possible, just bring your 100%. And I am absolutely confident that all 6 of these players are doing just that. That is what EGF is all about, and every player that I've ever had the chance to interview has reflected that very mindset. So even if this goes rough for Manhattan, they are still, I'm 100% sure, going to bring their absolute A game. And DePaul, 15 seconds off the clock. We see a great shot coming in from, I believe, Lavish there. Yep, there's a little bit to the right of goal, going to be able to knock that one in early.
Yeah, and that's a little bit unlucky, too, for Manhattan. They had the touch, they had the defense, but weren't quite able to clear it away, so DePaul will take advantage, and here we are, 1-0 in 15 seconds is certainly the start that DePaul were looking for.
Absolutely. Manhattan, perhaps not as much. You want to try to get those points online, but DePaul, they are incredibly aggressive, and I think that's where Manhattan can actually really take advantage of them, because I think DePaul may overextend, and I think they're not going to leave anybody in goal. All 3 players on the side of DePaul love to score. They love to, be that center of attention, kind of get that ball in goal. And not in a negative way. They are just flashy players. So I think Manhattan could really take advantage of that if they can get possession of the ball and just kind of chuck it downfield, just send it toward that goal.
Yeah, I mean, those chip shots, we saw it before in the last game. Chip shots are very effective, and there's a reason for that, especially if you overcommit. And like you said, DePaul are very aggressive, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that as a possibility.
Absolutely, and it looks like that one just barely not going to go in. Rocking 7, able to get that out of there. It's going to be flipped back from Lavish. Then we're seeing a very aggressive defense from Manhattan, which, to be fair, is kind of the only opportunity they've been given so far. We haven't seen a great possession of the ball come through quite yet, and they're finally going to get a little bit of momentum at Lavish. Right place, right time. Rocking 7 with a phenomenal defense so far. I believe that's 2 blocks already online for them. So 1 point online for DePaul early on, but a minute and a half off the clock, and they've yet to score anything else. Manhattan only down by 1 with plenty of time to score here.
And a great touch right there. Aggressive, yes, but it makes sure that there's really no opportunity for a follow-up onto the net. So great job from Manhattan to put it back into their opponent's half. That being said, DePaul still holding on to control here, and that's been the name of the game for DePaul thus far, is they have controlled this ball phenomenally.
Absolutely, they have had great ball control, and that's kind of something we expect from them. I would expect to maybe see a little bit more aerial control from them, which we really haven't seen very much. But okay, as I say it, Lavish is going to go for it. No, actually going to be interrupted by Karma Juni, their own teammate. That's kind of an issue that I talked about already, is that these players are flashy, and sometimes that comes down to all of them looking for a good goal rather than setting each other up for good goals. And we've actually seen that bite DePaul in the butt before.
Oh no, that was an own goal, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. That's just very rough. Again, obviously going for the defense of that ball, but it just didn't work out. It's the reality of the situation. And, what was kind of a big mistake for DePaul turns into a nice goal, and a goal that puts them up 2-0.
Absolutely, and this is going to be something to keep an eye out on as well as Manhattan. They're trying to get ball control, but they're overcommitting to a lot of the jumps early on. We saw this issue from Seton Hall as well, is that they go to block or they go to hit the ball, they jump a little bit too early and they're too high or they're too low, and we've seen that issue from Manhattan a couple of times. Maybe just waiting 1 more second, talk about trigger discipline in other games, kind of that same ideology here. Just wait 1 more second to jump, and that could really make a huge difference.
Well, and that's a great example of no boost. No boost, nobody in really a good position to get to that ball. And we saw the one player in net a little bit off-centered and, stuck on their back foot, so to speak. Not rolling on the balls of their feet, metaphorically.
Yeah, absolutely. They are not exactly getting the momentum they want. And Karma Juni, that is going to be 2 online for them here. So already going to be 4-0 in favor of DePaul. And at this point, 2 minutes left on clock. Manhattan, they haven't been able to score once in 3 minutes, so to think they have to score 4 times in 2 minutes is definitely a difficult task.
Yeah, a difficult task is maybe even an understatement.
Yeah, a little bit.
But that being said, again, it's not all out of this world, impossible or anything like that. That being said, I don't know what Black Wraith was doing right there, but maybe trying to get a little bit too cheeky with it.
Yeah, perhaps. Like you said, I think that's where Manhattan is really going to get the opportunity to take advantage of DePaul's. I think DePaul, they are no stranger to getting a little bit too confident with their game plan. Like I said, we have seen that bite them in the butt before, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen to them again. Now, I don't know about this game with a 4-point lead and 90 seconds on the clock, but there's at least 2 more games in this series, and Manhattan could absolutely take advantage of that down the road.
And you got to remember, confidence, it rolls game to game. It carries over. It doesn't reset.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you can pull out 0-0 in game 2 or game 3 and still be feeling the confidence from what looks to be right now a 4-0 victory. We could obviously see that change in the next minute and then get punished off the back of that.
Absolutely, and it looks like Black Ray's going to go and make it a 5-0. Going to send it in a little bit early, going to miss, but
what a
Manhattan, I can't stress it enough. Again, that overcommitment, the early jump, and then Black Ray's just with the great offense as well. So we see them jump, Rocking 7 just full sends it, as well as, I can't catch that other person's name, but then there's almost that block there right at the very end, but a little bit too low.
What a cut there at the end. I mean, that's just, it's pretty looking. You know, it is nasty, but it's also beautiful. You know,
yeah.
It's great to see. Also, Manhattan, that really does suck, and you gotta be aware of that. Is the reality.
Absolutely, and I mean, there's Lavish with a 6th one. Just going to be a great, kind of a midfield, quarter field shot there. 6-0 online. Paul, let it be over, right? 48 seconds left on the clock. There is no need to keep this one going. You want to push it into game 2, and Manhattan, this is one of the situations, do not let this mess up your mental, right? Because if you go into the second game with a worse mental, you're going to perform even worse. So you want to just do that full reset, you know? GG, go next.
Exactly. Yeah. GG go next is the right mindset. It's like, hey, we got 5 games here potentially, guaranteed 3. That means that we have the potential to lose, you know, 2 of those before we even have to win. You know, we even have to win 1. So that is the mindset that you have to come into this with.
Absolutely. And Black Wraith might want to, you know, ease up just a little bit on the offense here. So we're seeing some great value moving forward. This is going to be a pretty high value matchup so far for DePaul, just in terms of points. They really get to show off and be flashy, like I mentioned, they really like to do. But now 30 seconds left on the clock, and scoring 7 times, just not in the books here.
Yeah, I think that realistically, Manhattan, they just need maybe to try and pull something off here for the confidence in the last 10 seconds. Maybe you can get something, but even then, it's been all DePaul all the time, pretty much this entire game.
Yeah, and it looks like it will continue to be.
Yeah, they've really they've not stopped having the control of the ball, the control of the field, and beyond that, you know, Manhattan. Again, like I think I mentioned this before, but I'll say it one more time. You know, you got to stop playing defense to play offense.
Yep,
at some point. And again, I don't even think that Manhattan were not trying to play offense. They were. It was just suffocating DePaul all over the map.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a turnaround, as I think we have DePaul here with 15 shots on goal and Manhattan with 1. So that's not going to be spectacular there for Manhattan, but you said it best, Vincent. You cannot play offense if you're stuck on defense. You've got to change something up. You've got to get aggressive. You've got to bring the heat one way or another. And Manhattan just unfortunately unable to do that. And not to hit the nail on the head any harder, but we did kind of expect this to happen, right? There is a very large differential between these two teams, unfortunately, and DePaul is kind of filling the script here.
Yeah, and that's what we expect. That being said, that doesn't have to be what we see. Manhattan, they're still into this. They still have at least 2 games here to put themselves on display to show the differentiation, right? Like they've been practicing all season. They've made improvements. I'm sure. I haven't been here since the beginning of the season, so I won't make presumptions or anything on that part. But I think that, you know, you practice together for this many weeks. You definitely have made improvements, and I think Manhattan could put that on display for us here today.
Absolutely. I think Manhattan's going to have some great opportunities here to move forward and maybe find something early on, but Carmaggiuni finding a demo. Rocking 7 almost getting a goal because that net was wide open, even if just for a second, so that would have been huge for Manhattan. Like we said, you are just looking to score at this point. You are just looking to find a score, a game, anything that you can get kind of in the positives, but the ball, they're going to send it right downfield toward the goal of Manhattan, but MC, they are going to be able to block it. Rocking 7 just... It almost feels like a 1v3 the way we've seen Rocking 7 all over that information bar there at the top.
Yeah, I mean, and Rocking 7, by the way, was the architect of some of those great saves, and there he is, the architect of a goal for Manhattan. Let's take a peek at this one. Just a bad touch. That's just a horrible touch from Black Wraith.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate touch indeed. And here we go, Manhattan. Like that is what we are rooting for here. We said get one online. That's exactly what Rocking 7 was able to do. Maybe some great value there for Manhattan. Now they just got to kick in a little bit of defense. And oh, no way that didn't go. Okay, I was gonna say no way that did not go in. Lavish there is gonna do a great job.
Man, that is a very fortunate goal. It just hits the top of the crossbar, and fortunately it goes the right direction. That could have gone either way, and DePaul get a bit of a break there to tie things back up 1-1. And again, Manhattan, they've already got a goal in, and this is looking a lot better from them already.
Yeah, absolutely. They've gotten that goal, and like you said, things are looking better here. Game 1, a little bit rough, but Game 1 by no means dictates the rest of the matchup. We've seen that 100 times before. We saw that from Delaware, right? Seton Hall won that first game, and Delaware was able to win the series. So a phenomenal turnaround in Manhattan, maybe on the start of doing just that very same thing. Carmaguni goes for a super aggressive midfield shot on goal there, but it just bounces in a little bit too high. Not even a defense from Manhattan, just a bit of a misplay there from Carmaguni.
Something that's getting a little bit deep in the weeds there. Yeah, could be the reverse sweep. Okay, let's not go too far.
I have hope, Vincent.
With the one goal,
I have
hope. I appreciate your hope. I will give you that. But hope is what we have right now. I will. What's the reality is there? I'll be right there with you. But
all right, fair enough.
Hey, I like the positivity. And well, did Black Wraith just unscore that goal? I'm pretty sure he just blocked his own goal.
Oops. And sometimes it really do be like that. But, unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, Manhattan, even if they won here today, they are not able to make it into the playoffs. And that feels like I'm pouring like lemon juice in the cut here. But it's just kind of a reminder for those who may not have known, who may have just kind of a heads up. That is no bueno, so to speak, here for Manhattan. So it's going to be DePaul able to get another point online. 3 minutes left, and Vincent, like you said, I'm getting a little bit deep here, hoping for that reverse sweep. But anybody who's ever seen me cast knows nothing gets me hyped like an underdog story. I absolutely love them, so I will always be at least secretly rooting for the underdog.
Hey, that's fair enough, right? And listen, I love an underdog story too. Listen, my heart can't take it if I get too invested too early. So my heart's like, all right, Zach, that's way too aggressive. You can't be looking for that just yet. But
fair enough. Oh, speaking of looking for things, Carmaguni looking for another goal there. And to be fair, Manhattan, they're playing better around this game than they did last one, right? Around 2.5 minutes last time, I think the score was 5-0.
Yeah.
So Manhattan, they're definitely keeping this one a lot closer.
They absolutely are. And on top of that, they, it's not just been like DePaul making mistakes or anything. Their defense has been very solid and a lot more attempts, even if they've not been positive all the time, attempts in the midfield to play for those 50-50s. It's something we have yet really to see. And, well, there's just a very nice shot. I mean, that is hard to defend against if you are Manhattan. Let's take a look at this one more time. Lavish with what is a great turn and top of the net. It's just hard to defend that. Yeah,
absolutely. Just under the crossbar there, just barely able to get it in. Like you said, that's hard for anybody to defend. So nothing on Manhattan's part they could really do there. Also, a great demo came from Carmaguni, so it was just a 2 defense situation. Jason C gonna look for a goal, but it's gonna be taken out by Lavish there. 2 minutes left on the clock. Manhattan will have to do a very difficult task here and score twice, but DePaul, they're looking to score a 4th time. Definitely going to be difficult moving forward. Carmaguni with another shot, but Rocking 7 with that great defense we've talked about.
Oh, well, Rocking 7 can't be everywhere, unfortunately.
Very true.
Lavish on the second attempt is good. I mean, it's ultimately a tap off the crossbar and then in for Lavish, but those types of plays where you have multiple commitments and multiple players coming in from different angles, like Manhattan, they have to communicate so effectively that it's just really hard to pull that off defensively.
Absolutely. And something, I don't want to sound like a teacher, and I'm sure Manhattan doesn't want to be getting advice from a caster, but it's like, best case scenario, you do a great job here, and this is going to be a great VOD either way, right? Like, this is going to be a phenomenal turnaround. You can watch this back and kind of focus on maybe your offense is weaker, maybe your defense is weaker. Whether you walk away getting 3-0'd or not, it's going to be phenomenal to turn around and look at because DePaul, they are one of our higher teams, right? They are a great team to learn from, and I think that would be huge for Manhattan. Yeah,
I think you're right. And you gotta think about it, right? Like, even as we see DePaul taking that goal, it's always a question mark. Like, you try to get scrims against good teams. Think about it like that, right? Like, you have the opportunity to play a team that's really awesome, and and that means that you get the opportunity to watch it back to see what you did poorly, what you did well, how to adjust it. Like you're saying, there's always positives to take away and ways to learn from losses.
Absolutely, and something that I think all 6 players here today should learn is somebody used the battle bus. I just want to see it, right? They put it in the game, and nobody uses it, and I just want to see the battle bus, guys. I feel like that's not that much to ask for.
I mean, you know, you just want to see somebody boot up into a game that is competitive.
Absolutely.
where you're looking to win with a big fat bus.
With a giant bus. That's all I want to see. I also love seeing the Batmobile. The players actually choose that. I see the Batmobile pretty often, but I want the battle bus. I want to see the battle bus, and nobody wants to bring it out. It absolutely breaks my heart because it makes me laugh like crazy every time I see it.
I mean, well, okay, what a great shot. I just want to.
True.
That was just beautiful from Lavish. I think Lavish has three now, maybe even more. It's 7-1. So I don't know the numbers. I wasn't quite 100% sure, but chipping it right over all 3 players, all 3. I mean, that's a nice little goal for Lavish to take away, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. And something else. Sorry, I'm on a tangent now. Something else I would love to see is somebody bring out the Sweet Tooth battle car. That was actually, oh, you know what? That was actually a PlayStation exclusive. But anyway, it would be neat because I love Twisted Metal, so I would love to see that come out. But now, you know, all these players, they go for the generic cars, and it breaks my... Somebody bring out the F-150. I know it was just added into the game. Like, somebody get something cool out here, right? I think that would make things a lot more fun. Are they worse vehicles to play with? Yeah, probably. But would they be more fun? Absolutely.
Are they interesting?
Absolutely.
Yes, they are. Also, whoever thought that that video games would somehow have a way to monetize themselves by putting in trucks into the game, like real world cars. Like that's pretty cool. Nonetheless, also pretty cool is DePaul University, who has taken game 2 in dominant fashion. It was 7-1 this time, so an improvement over the 7-0 sweep, but
absolutely.
Not a huge improvement. I think overall the play actually was a huge improvement. Just there at the end, it got very one-sided, but the majority of that game was actually relatively close. It was just those last couple of moments where DePaul simply walked away with things. But now into game 3, Manhattan College once again, they've got to find something here, or it's all over.
Right. They've
got to pick it up, or we are just hitting a 3-0 sweep. Though again, is expected, but still.
Right.
My hope's always there.
Absolutely. Fingers are crossed for that one. I would love to see Manhattan take anything away from this. Just a goal, just a game, just kind of anything. But like you said, 3-0 sweep, relatively expected from us. And honestly, it works out well, actually, because this is going to get us right back on schedule after that nearly 8-minute overtime. So this is actually going to be a mild bit of a blessing. And now Manhattan, they've got this next, I'm going to say 5 minutes, but including the replays from goals, we're probably looking at more 7 to 10 minutes. So they've got this upcoming kind of 7 to 10 minutes to really try to turn things around. And like I said, just give your 100%. That's all we can ask, right? Nobody's going to be able to win every game. There's going to be games like this where the #1 seed is up against our 19th seed or something crazy like that. But just give your 100%. That is all EGF is all about, is just trying to the absolute end.
Yeah, and I want to say I love all the teams in EGF because they do just that. It doesn't. Whenever I talk to players and interview them, and I talk to even players who have come off of a loss, I always am impressed with how they are so positive about everything, and it's just beautiful. And I think we've seen it change.
No way!
Let's go!
DePaul with the battle buses. I don't care about anything else that is ever going to happen for the rest of the night. DePaul just made my entire night with the battle buses. I am so excited. DePaul, thank you. You just made the whole night for me. I could not be more excited. This is fantastic. I'm a simple man. I make a request and you meet that request. That's all I could ever ask.
Hey, they did it. That's awesome. I love this.
I love that they all did it. That's the best part. All 3 of them are on the battle bus right now. It's
commitment. You gotta commit to the bit.
Talk about spectacular. It might only be 2 of them, but I'm pretty... Black Wraith might not be, but Carmen Judy and Lavish are both rocking the battle bus right now. And again, that is all I could ever ask for.
All three.
Oh, yes. Even better. I like haven't seen Black Wraith yet. I've just seen Karma Judy and Lavish bouncing the ball back and forth. But I will get. Oh no, Black! There it is at the end of the replay. Magnifique, magnifique, chef's kiss.
Oh, what would have been even better is if Manhattan pulled up the F-150 on the other side.
Oh,
Whatever.
I would have lost it. I would have lost my mind. That would have been something. But I think you had to pay for the F-150, and I don't think you had to pay for the battle bus.
Oh, you're right about that.
I think if you owned Fortnite, you got the battle bus. But now, I mean, they're still dunking with it, right? We are not even a minute into this. It is 3-0. DePaul, you're welcome. New lucky charm. It's that battle bus. I'm telling you.
It's the new meta battle bus. You've heard it here first. Vincent and Septilin's pulling it out.
Absolutely, we have cracked the new Rocket League meta, and it is simply go battle bus. It is. I'm so happy about this, but I mean, also it's so many unique vehicles, and for whatever reason, the battle bus just makes me giggle every time.
Inerti's been doing it wrong the whole time. That's the thing.
Absolutely, they have not understood what Rocket League truly is until they have won a game using the battle bus. And I think I just like it because every other game feels so aerodynamic. Every other car, I mean. And then the battle bus is just a cube. It's just a giant cube, and that kills me.
It's a real life, or I say real life. It's an in-game Scion. If you know what that is, I don't know. Probably not even supposed to say that. Whatever, it's fine. But you know those box cars you see with like usually have some sort of advertising on them. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Oh man, that is hysterical. And honestly, it is not inhibiting their performance at all. They're already 4-0, and there's 3.5. We're only a minute and a half into this, and DePaul is already up by 4 points. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive. And on top of that, I just will say that like props to Rocking 7, who I feel like every single time like Manhattan have been playing, and I've been like, oh yeah, who can I take a look at? It's just Rocking 7. Like,
yep.
I just want to give some props. No disrespect to anyone else, but you know, props where it's due, right?
Absolutely, and I think you made a great observation there. You said this earlier on as well, is Rocking 7 just can't be everywhere, right? So we're seeing great shots on goal. We're seeing great defense coming out as well, but then you can only do it once, right? You kind of have to commit into a defense or commit into a shot on goal. And Rocking 7, you know, that's just, they try to make it happen, but they are definitely the star player of Manhattan so far here today.
Yeah, I've been impressed. And hey, listen, again, you know, whenever we talk about DePaul and how well they're playing, it's just kind of been a story of the DePaul side of things, and hey, it continues to be here in what looks to be the final game, considering it's 5-0, about 2 minutes and 45 left. But I think we can say with certainty that the DePaul have really marked their territory, I guess, with this game.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, we said it 100 times. This is exactly how we expected this here to go today. So it's going to be a great turnaround for DePaul.
Indeed. With that said, I mean, 2 minutes. And are you still believing, Sep, by the way? Is this still reverse sweep territory?
I've got to be honest, Vincent. 5-0 with 2 minutes left on the clock. Make that 5-1, Rocking 7.
There we go.
The reverse sweep is coming, Vincent. It is on its way. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Rocking 7 heard me. He heard my moment of weakness, my moment of doubt, and he said, Septilence, this one's for you. And he put that right in the goal. I got the battle bus. I got a point for Manhattan. This is my favorite game of Rocket League so far.
Mate, I mean, you literally couldn't have made that timing up. That was so beautiful.
Timing is everything.
Oh man, yeah, but I think probably is over on the hope for the reverse sweep. But hey, listen, Rocking 7 has 2 goals and 2 goals for Manhattan. I think that kind of just goes to show you that our praise not misplaced in the slightest.
Absolutely, yeah, no, our praise is definitely not misplaced here. We are seeing some great performance coming out from Rocking 7 all the way around, and realistically, you know, we've seen some great progress, some great value, and we can only hope that Manhattan can continue to be on the up and up if Rocking 7 is able to be as aggressive as they have been.
Exactly, and, well, a minute and 45 left here, 5 goals down. I feel like I have to say that, but, you know, it was just like less than 30 seconds ago. That was the goal, but still, that one a little bit of a tough whiff on that defense. But hey, it does happen to the best of us.
No, it really does. It really does. And it hurts a little bit more in a 6-1 scenario, but sometimes you just miss them. It really do be like that sometimes. It's kind of the point of Rocket League, right?
Listen, if I was in the server, I have no doubt that I would be missing that and every other shot.
Oh, you and me both, brother. You and me both.
Like I boot up this game and I'm like, dude, this game's sick. And then like I watch myself play versus like these players, and I'm like, oh, I'm just absolute dog water, and it's horrible. It's like horrifically bad.
I say with Rocket League the same I say with a lot of other games. If I was good at it, I'd be in the lobby, not behind the desk. I love the games. I just cannot play them to save my life. I think they're a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun casting them, and I have a lot of fun playing them, but I am nowhere near. I'm sure any of these players could dunk on me 7 days a week.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, as terrifying as it would be, like I'm pretty sure that I could get 1v1 against literally any player in this lobby and lose like 10-0. So
you and me both, yeah.
It's not the greatest.
We might 2v1 and lose. There's a chance.
True. That's very true.
I cannot for a moment say I am confident with my Rocket League gameplay. Like, I can analyze it, right? Like, I can talk about it for ages, but the second you ask me, you hand me a controller, your team loses. I'm so sorry, because if I'm on it, that is not what you want.
Listen, there's something about that like first-person POV that like changes your brain from very intelligent about the game to like
absolutely,
instantly monkey brain, right? Like
absolutely.
You're just like, oh, I'm supposed to like think about the game intelligently. No. That's not what we do here in first-person POV. That's only for third-person POV.
Yeah, it's like how dare you ask me to perform well and know what I'm doing? That is not allowed here.
Unreasonable.
Now 15 seconds left, 8-1. This is far over for Manhattan, but they were able to score, I think, every game at the first one. So the second and third game, they got a point online. Manhattan we got some great timing coming out from them, and Rocking 7, a phenomenal job all the way around. Not to take away from the other Manhattan players, but Rocking 7 all over that scoreboard for Manhattan. And DePaul with the battle buses, DePaul with that performance we expected, and DePaul great as always. I mean, this is DePaul at their finest, right?
I mean, listen, DePaul's most dominant scoreline was with the battle buses. I think there is maybe some sort of correlation here. I'm drawing conclusions. Like, you know that saying correlation does not equal causation? Well, I'm just skipping straight to causation.
we hardly need the correlation. It's still 100% the battle bus is the reason. We are, it's going to be, I mean, like you said, that's the highest scoring game from DePaul, and I don't think those battle buses were, that wasn't a coincidence, DePaul.
Nope.
Keep an eye on that, guys. I'll be keeping an eye on in these upcoming weeks. How many times you bringing out that battle bus? I'm going to be counting. And I'm going to assume it's for me every single time because I love being the center of attention, if you can't tell by my career choice. But just a phenomenal job from DePaul. And we'll wait right now to see if we're going to be getting an interview. I'm not sure. I think we are still a little bit behind schedule. I'm not sure. We pretty much don't know until the players. Okay, so until the players are like, yeah, we'll do an interview. Or they're like, no, we don't have time. And we're like, okay, it is what it is.
Or there's the other third option that we are of course very sad about. You casters, screw you.
That's a sad one for sure. But also I said this every single time at the beginning of an interview. But while we're waiting to see if we're gonna get one, I love talking to people that were in the game. Right? We get to sit here, or we get to analyze from the outside as much as we want. But getting to talk to somebody that was in the moment, in the heat of things, and we're always talking to the winners because we kind of sad to talk to the team that kind of walks away defeated. So it's always great to talk to people. Their serotonin's like through the roof, their adrenaline is way up, and they're always super hype, and it's a blast. I always love to hear that player experience. And also something particular to EGF as well is there's always such camaraderie, not only between the players on each team, but there's always such respect for the opponents no matter how a game goes.
Yeah, I have to definitely mirror those feelings. That is something that I like the spiciness. I like a little bit of trash talk in there. I think it's fun. That's just me. I know not everybody feels that way, but I have been so impressed by, like you said, all the respect. And we could be looking at a 10-0 scoreline, and I'm not even kidding. We would hear a player come in and say something along the lines of, "Yeah, we have tons of respect for this team. They're always difficult to play with. There's nobody that's an easy game here." Yeah. We were talking. I don't know if you were in that game, but we talked last week to a player from Overwatch who said something along those lines, like, not an easy game, doesn't even matter, and they were one of the top table teams, and so I was just really impressive. I was really, I really love to see that, and it's really a positive environment,
absolutely,
something that you don't always see.
Absolutely, and it's great because every single team we see as well, these top seed teams that we don't always get to talk to, but when we do, it's kind of they're always talking about how they can improve next time. It's never they're coming into our interview and saying like, oh, like easy game. Like you said, it's always a great team to go up against. Next time around, we're going to try to work on X, Y, Z. Great work from a whole bunch of things, and it's crazy because like you said, you don't always see that. There's such this clean level of playful banter and kind of, like rivalries. But then at the end of the day, all these players have so much respect for each other. But now we're going to throw it to a quick break. We just got confirmation that Black Wraith will be joining us here in the booth. So we'll be right back with an interview, guys. Go fill up your water bottles, use the restroom if you have to, and we'll be right back. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. Septilence and Vincent here to bring you an interview with Black Wraith, one of 3 DePaul players here who took a very convincing victory over Manhattan College. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty strong win, so I'm feeling good about that.
Absolutely, a strong win for you guys indeed, and you've got some more games coming up in the near future, and you guys have been doing a phenomenal job. Also, I want to thank you for the battle buses. Absolutely made my whole day.
Let's go.
I was very stoked to see that come out. Like I said, I have not seen them in a very long time. But my question for you guys is, you are kind of set up in one of our comfortable, higher placement teams there, but I'm curious, what are you going to be working on moving forward, trying to constantly kind of reach that next level?
We're always working on our team plays, trying to find each other on the field. I think this series especially was a good way to test that out, just try to see where each other is, be aware where our enemies are especially, and I think keep working on that going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you guys are absolutely a top table team within the entirety of the league, right? But within that Big East Conference, it is awful tight, particularly at the upper end. So what are you guys expecting kind of heading in playoffs look sort of things? Are you guys worried about any teams in particular? Are you what sort of regimen are you looking at to prep and get ready for that?
There are some pretty good teams, but it's pretty much going to be the same as what you just saw, We're going to be lapping teams left and right. It's just day in, day out stuff, nothing too serious, and we'll take the win.
Alrighty, lots of confidence. I do love to see that, especially, against, we saw Seton Hall earlier as well have a great game. Unfortunately, a loss, but still a good game in that same conference. So I love to see that you have a lot of confidence coming in there. The final thing that I want to ask you, though, is do you have anybody you want to say hello to, shout out, any of those things before we let you get going?
No, just shout out to my teammates, Karma and Lavish, carrying me always. So shout out to them.
You did get carried. You had a great game. Nonetheless, we do very much appreciate you coming on here, and thank you so much for being available for the interview.
No problem.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and tell your teammates we only get to talk to one of you guys, unfortunately. So tell your teammates, great job tonight. We cannot wait to see what you guys are going to do in these upcoming weeks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And with that, folks, I believe we are bringing this game to a close. Vincent, I believe this is your last one with us for the time being.
That is correct. Unfortunately, I will be.
Yeah,
I'll be gone after this one, but back next time. So don't.
Yes. Vincent will be back next week, but I will be right back with Quantum Deathcat. Vincent, of course, thank you so much for joining us for these games. A huge shout out to all 4 teams who were able to make it out tonight, both Manhattan and DePaul, as well as Delaware and Seton Hall. We're gonna throw it to a quick break, guys, but I'll be right back with Quantum Deathcat for 2 more games. We'll see you soon.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UConn, UConn. Forever making our mark. Forever making UConn a part of us.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome. Still Septilence here, but now joined by Quantum Deathcat to bring you the University of Colorado versus the University of Connecticut.
You're looking fine behind that green screen.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, I still have the potato cam here. You can count the number of pixels here. I mean, I have less pixels than you have teeth.
We've got quite a lot going on to this upcoming matchup, and hopefully this one's going to be a little bit closer than we saw, as DePaul did take a very convincing victory over Manhattan. But as Quantum and I were talking about Manhattan a little bit off stream, they've got great potential moving forward. We were talking about Season 3 could be a great look for them.
Of course, and their future is looking extremely bright. They get better every week, and I mean, week in, week out, their goal is to at least try and steal one game, right? One game out of a series. They've yet to do so. And scoring at least one goal every game will help them do so, and they did that twice out of 3. So
yeah,
already that's great progress. And DePaul are no slouches. So
yeah, right.
Congrats to Manhattan. They brought it. They brought their A game, I think. And yeah, they lost. They got swept, obviously, but they have been all season long, right? They've been the complete underdogs, and I can't wait for for when they get to play a team more of their caliber and show us that they could win games.
Absolutely. A step is a step no matter how small, right? So it's going to be great progress for them moving forward. And now I'm very excited to see Colorado going up against Connecticut. Not only do both of their names begin with the letter C, which is probably going to get a little bit confusing, but their colors are super different. So that'll be very helpful for me because for those of you who don't know, I'm colorblind. And the next game after this one is going to be Xavier and Quinnipiac. And their colors are like they're like two shades apart. So it is identical for me. But now that is not an issue we have to worry about until that next game. Colorado and Connecticut going to be bringing the heat here.
So you see them as the same color. Well,
it's mighty close. It's very difficult for me to tell them apart.
Okay, because University of Colorado is pitch black, right? Black.
This one's this is an easy one, but the next game after this is the one I'm sweating about a little bit, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm not personally super familiar with either of these teams. I think I've only had the pleasure of casting Connecticut one time, and I think I've only cast Colorado maybe 2 or 3. So these are teams that I'm not super familiar with personally. But yeah, I was gonna say I've heard great things about both of these teams, so I'm very, very excited to see how they're gonna pull out that performance here today.
This sounds like it's... I'm gonna make predictions. You know I like my hot takes. I like them as hot as the burritos right out of the oven. I'm going to say either 4 games Colorado's way or 5 games Connecticut. If this goes 5 games, this goes Connecticut. If this goes 4 games, this is Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely. And so do you think we're going to be seeing a 3-0 from either side, or you're pretty confident?
I don't think so. It's too tight.
You think it's going to be too tight, just in terms of it's going to be a minimum of 4, but who knows? Maybe one of these teams shows up and surprises us here today. Only time will tell, and I think we'll be jumping into game in just a moment. We'll be jumping in right as that kickoff begins, and I'm very excited to see which one of these teams is going to bring the heat early on. A lot of the games we've seen today haven't had those early goals. You've seen a lot of other Rocket League games where you see somebody score in the first 5, 10, 15 seconds. We've seen them going 2, 3 minutes before getting any points online. We'll have to see if Colorado and Connecticut carry that tradition here.
Oh, well, that was close, but it goes wide and the bounce is weird, so... you wanted that early goal, that early momentum shift, but you're not going to get it.
Yeah, not going to get it here. And now we see the University of Colorado with an early possession of the ball, trying to get a little bit of possession early on. Not able to find a goal. Great interception from Nitro here. Some great momentum for UConn for just a moment, and then Colorado able to turn it around in the blink of an eye. It's just a lot of back and forth between the teams right now. Nobody's really been able to get possession of the ball.
No one's really got possession, as you say. A lot of back and forth. Some passes are being attempted, though. And here you go. You got Colorado doing their best here to keep it in the offensive zone. They've been doing so pretty well. They've been getting some passes, but Nitro steals it away. Yeah,
Nitro is going to be able to steal it away again, and almost a minute off the clock. So yeah, not going to be carrying that tradition here today. It's going to be a slow burn game from both these folks here. And we saw that first game between Delaware and Seton Hall go to a 7-ish minute overtime. So we have seen quite the matchups today. And now Colorado and UConn, they've already burned a minute off the clock. No points online.
No real points, and it's going to be rough for them. But right now, it's just a rough beginning, right? We've got ourselves an entire 14 more minutes to play at minimum, right? And that's a massive mistake there. And Trix is gonna find it. That's a sad side flip. Joyce passes it out, and who is this? Oh my goodness, Nitro just can't get up in the air. I think he just didn't realize he had no boost.
Yeah, just no boost online there. We've actually seen that issue quite a few times today, is that these players get super close to scoring or super close to defending a goal, and then they just don't have a boost online, and it ends up costing them.
Yeah, they don't realize that